Our third speaker of the evening, like the others, not only does he need no introduction, he has upended ways of seeing the entire world of myth. But it is more than that. Devdutt Pattanaik challenges also the very idea of being liberal, because the liberals amongst us, of which I count myself one, are often as blind to seeing nuance and context and everything that constitutes liberalism as the people we accuse of radicalism. And I think when his sustained work in mythology is meant to illuminate both believers and non-believers, he says beautifully that fact is everybody's truth, fiction is nobody's truth, myth is somebody's truth. It opens our eyes to somebody's truth and why that truth exists. And he has done more to open up the world of Indian mythology to contemporary understanding than pretty much any writer alive. Tonight we're in for a treat because not just a conversation, he has distilled a lifetime of work into 40 insights specific to Hinduism, 40 insights from Hinduism that we don't know or may not know, but that we who call ourselves Hindu or who engage with the idea of Hinduism as citizens of this country need to know. This is not a conversation, this is Devdutt telling us what we need to know. Devdutt, over to you.
Hi, good evening. You know, there is a video going around on WhatsApp, after which people have decided not to have conversations with me. How many of you all believe in equality? It doesn't matter. Everybody hasn't raised their hand. That's important. We don't know that. Many people did not raise their hands. Is equality a fact or a fiction? Is it everybody's truth or is nobody's truth? Or is it somebody's truth? Because if it is somebody's truth, then it is myth. How many of you believe in diversity? Oh, a little bit more hands. Few more, not all. A little bit more. Is diversity fact, fiction, or myth?
Mix of all.
Is nature diverse? Yes. Is nature equal?
No.
So you want to be equal, that means you don't want to be natural?
Yeah.
I'm asking this question because equality is a very powerful word. It's such a powerful word that you can't speak against it. The moment you speak against it or argue another point of view, you are gagged, privileged. And the moment they call you privileged, it means shut up. I often hear this from many scholars. Devdutt, but you are privileged. Basically, in academia, this is translated as shut your mouth. You have no right to speak. It's a very powerful word. I hear it all the time. The moment someone is cornered intellectually, they will use the word, but you are privileged. And that's it. Then I can't speak anymore. Then I must be the oppressor. And the moment I become an oppressor, I don't have a valid point of view. And this is what has happened in academia today. Academia has become activism. And when it becomes activism, it is not academia anymore. Because you have already taken sides. Academia is about not taking sides. It's about understanding every side, after which you may choose to be an activist. That's your personal journey. But activism and academia need to be separated. It is like a science student. I studied medicine. In order to understand anatomy well, you have to dissect a dead body. The first day you enter the medical college, you dissect a dead body. You don't say it is a male body, female body, upper class body, lower class body, fat body, thin body. You have to dissect the body. You don't, and you can't say that, you know what, that's not fair. The body doesn't have agency. You have to cut it open, otherwise you will not understand what the body is. Then you have no right to call yourself a allopathic doctor. It's a process which you have to do. If you want to understand Hinduism, you cannot be an activist. You have to be an academician. So you have to decide, should Devdutt defend Hinduism or criticize Hinduism? If these are the questions in your mind, then you are an activist, not interested in understanding. Because I am not interested in defending Hinduism. I am not interested in criticizing Hinduism. I am only interested in understanding Hinduism. I want to dissect. So when I write, the left wing attacks me because, oh, he's a caste apologist. So easy. Privileged. Male, privileged, upper caste, urban. Finished. Khatam. Of course, I have one saving grace. I am homosexual. Which means whenever a liberal argument happens, I just look at them and say, oh, that's so heteronormative. मुझे भी गेम खेलना आता है. तुम चंट तो मैं महाचंट. But अगर उपनिषद करना है, you want to understand, then stop the game. Let's have a conversation. The game I'll catch in a minute. Right wing to chhod hi do. I mean, you can't have a conversation. They're so sweet. They genuinely believe in internet 20,000 years ago. And they believe in plastic surgery 50,000 years ago. I mean, you can't have a conversation with them. You just want to hug them and kiss them and say, oh my God, just don't lynch me. So you have these two extremes of the bell curve. Let's keep them out of the room. Because they're both foolish. समझ नहीं आता है. Understanding. Is it over already? जब मैं बात करता हूं तो समय बहता है. You know, so the word equality is something that I hear every time. As a mythologist, I can't help but smile. Because where does the concept of equality come from in human society? We are all equal is a very great sentence. But which mythology does it come from? Everyone is equal in the eyes of God. This is a Christian concept. This is a Jewish concept. This is an Islamic concept. We are all equal in front of the eyes of God. You know what the meaning of the word salam is? In India we say salam sir, salam sir, salam sir. But salam doesn't mean salute. Salam or shalom, as the Jewish people will use, means may their peace be upon you. It is not salutations, because to salute is to bow. You cannot bow, one human being cannot bow to another human being. You only bow to God. So shalom is a greeting which was used in the Jewish, that we are all equal. Tu mujhse bada nahi hai. You can be a sultan, you can be a sheikh, you can be a rabbi, but we are all equal in front of the eyes of God. Hence salam. In India, salam becomes because of the influence of Persia. Persia has always had a problematic relationship with Islam, even today. Even today, the Arabs and the Persians don't like each other for the simple reason that Persian... अरे हनुमान जी बैठते हैं यहाँ पे. Persian thought, because Persian had for a long time had dynastic rule. They had dynastic rule from very old times. And therefore they had a problem with the idea of equality. They had the adab concept which we have, which we associated in India even with Islam, adab, to bow to the king and to say Jahangir or Akbar, and you bow and you say, this was a Persian idea. The Arabs wouldn't like it. Because it means you are bowing before a human being, and that is shirk. That is inappropriate. We are all equal. So the idea of equality has a strong mythic root. It is not a rational idea. If anybody tells me it's a rational idea, it's absurd. It is not there in nature. Nature is not designed. Nature is interesting. Let me clarify myself. In nature, every living creature is equal. There is no animal that is given special privileges by nature. In nature, to each his own. Everybody has strength and weaknesses. Everybody has threats and challenges. You survive. कोई तो ये रखवाला नहीं होगा. Nature is equal and diverse. In nature is the perfect meritocracy. Because in nature you survive if you adapt, if you are fast, if you are strong, if you catch the moment, you are an opportunist, you will survive or you die. कोई तेरी रखवाला नहीं करेगा. The deer is eating the grass, which means they can eat all the grass. So nature says, no, we can't have that. We need wolves and tigers to kill the deer so that the grass gets an opportunity to grow. So the tiger, the non-vegetarian carnivore, is a friend of the grass which is eaten by the herbivore. In nature, vegetarianism is not superior. It is okay to eat meat. It's okay. Durga's vehicle, the lion, doesn't drink milk as you would like to imagine. Shiva's snake around his neck cannot drink milk, although we drown him in Nagapanchami. It wants a juicy rat. And that scoundrel rat is with Ganesha. Equality as an idea comes from the Abrahamic worldview. God has made everyone equal. Everybody shall follow the commandments of God. It applies to the prophet, it applies to the king, it applies to the common man. Moses will not be allowed to enter the promised land, although he led people to the promised land, because he broke a commandment. He took the Lord's name in vain. He will not be allowed. King David, will be punished with a stillborn child because he coveted the neighbor's wife. Everybody is equal in the eyes of God. And when you die, there will be judgment day, Qayamat. You will be answerable to the Lord who is the judge. You go to Sistine Chapel, you will see the painting of Jesus Christ. On one side, the people who have followed the right path and therefore shall be taken to heaven, and those who haven't, who shall be thrown into hell. Jannat, Jahannam. Look at the concept. And suddenly as I speak, tell me where you have heard this in a secular space. The nation state is based on this mythology. Everybody is equal before the law. The constitution is our commandment. We are the citizens. We are the tribe of God. Who is the prophet? The prophet is he who leads the country. Who is God? God is we, the people. We create the constitution. We decide who the prophet is and decide him every 5 years because every time there is a flaw in him or her. But the whole structure of the nation state is based on Christian mythology, Islamic mythology, and that is why the biggest problem to the nation state comes from Christian fundamentalists, Islamic fundamentalists, Jewish radicals. Because should God's law be more important than people's law? That is the big question. That is the big question. Everybody is equal in front of God. Everybody is equal in front of the law. Constitution is the secular commandment. We all have to submit to it. We all have a covenant with God. We have a contract with God. In some religions it is baptism, circumcision. In India it is having an Indian passport. In America it is having an American passport. You have a passport to show I declare allegiance to the nation state. Nobody is above my nation state. It is monotheistic in structure. The last 100 years, nation state is a 100-year-old concept. 300 if you take America into consideration. But it is only after colonial rule ends a nation state, and we assume it is a rational concept. No, it comes from the Abrahamic mythic traditions. It is the leftover of colonial rule. The queen has been replaced by the people. Her law has been replaced by the constitution. We were equal in Victoria's eyes. She said, "You are all equal before me." We are now equal before the constitution. Everything is to be equal. So Hinduism has to be evil. Because Hinduism doesn't talk about equality, or it does in a very different way. But who knew of it? Did Gandhi know about it? Because when Gandhi uses the word Hinduism, what did he actually read? The Gita he read was a translation by a British man called Edward Arnold. That's the Gita Gandhi read. What was the Gita that Ambedkar read? What was the Gita that Sardar Patel read? And what do these three men have in common? They are all lawyers trained in London. All three of them are lawyers trained in London. They believe in the law, the letter of the law, the spirit of the law. Everyone is equal before the law. The justice as a concept. Do you think this doesn't influence their writings? ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है जिंदगी में. Where are you coming from? इस गंगा का गंगोत्री कहाँ है? Everybody talks about it as a rational concept, and I'm saying, wait a minute, it is a mythological concept. It is not a rational concept. Get this out of your head. Diversity is a natural concept. Now deal with equality and diversity. You want equality and diversity together? Go to the jungle. Jungle mein nature doesn't privilege anyone. We would like to believe lion is special. No, lion is not special. When it grows old, it will be eaten by the dogs. Nobody's going to take care of the lion, the king of the jungle. Only Disney believes in it. And we have told children, the fox is cunning. No, the fox is not cunning. The fox is the fox is the fox. Peacock is proud. No. Peacock is not proud. It has that long, beautiful tail because it wants to get laid. और कुछ नहीं है. But we can't tell, no, little children, how will they understand all this? We believe in the truth. But we don't want to tell our children that animals fuck. ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है. मम्मी बताओ गणपति का जन्म कैसे हुआ? We can't tell the real reason. We'll say his head was cut off and was replaced. It's so much more easier to discuss violence than sex. So easy. I always tell this, you go to the Durga Pandal, Bengali festival, the child goes to the temple, Durga is standing with her 8 arms, the powerful symbol of power, killing a buffalo demon, and the child looks at the mother and says, Mummy, वो buffalo को वो lady क्यों murder कर रही है? Shut up. तू क्या communist से बात कर रहा है? Mummy doesn't know. Who knows these rituals? Did Gandhi write about these rituals? Which Indian political leader wrote about them? But they all spoke of Hinduism. You speak about a subject through judgment, not through understanding. It is activism, not academia. You're debating society in Oxford. Hinduism, inequality. Hinduism is equal to inequality. Buddhism is equal to equality. And I'm like, really? Vinaya Pitaka padha hai kya? Jatak Katha padha hai kya? Buddha to be takes 550 lives. Not one of them is of a woman. Why? But Buddhism is equality, no? Oh. By the way, Vinaya Pitaka has more rules for women than for men. Equality, no? And by the way, the first rules against homosexuals in India is documented in the Vinaya Pitaka. Equality, no? Or is it my privileged upper class Hindu background that is saying things against Buddhism? Because that is what I was accused of when I wrote that article. I'm like, तू पढ़ता नहीं है, मैंने पढ़ा, इसलिए मैं privileged. I just read and I said, excuse me, because when you talk about feminism and you talk about patriarchy in India, the example is always Ram, never Buddha, for walking out on wife and child and kingdom without permission. No, but the larger good, no. Abandoning wives for the larger good seems to be very popular. When you ask difficult questions, you become privileged and gagged. And that is why I write on Hinduism. I will not be gagged. Because I see you have to solve, as a doctor, one thing I learned, in order to cure a disease, you have to understand the disease. Without a proper diagnosis, you cannot write a correct prescription. If you do believe the caste is a disease, then diagnose it correctly. Figure out what the diagnosis is. In order to diagnose, you have to do research and understand a very complex phenomenon. But you are not allowed to discuss it. You are only allowed to condemn it in order to get brownie points. So you never understand it. So very cleverly, the disease is never diagnosed. You have partial diagnosis, horrifying prescription, which seems to amplify the disease. 70 years later, we are now seeing Patels asking for reservations, Jats asking for reservations, Marathas asking for reservations. What's going on? What have you done wrong that the problem is amplified instead of decaying? Why has Donald Trump become popular? He has been voted by the people. Something has gone wrong in the discourse. He says awful, awful things, but it is, I don't care, I like him. Same thing is happening in India, same thing is happening across the world. Step back before judging. Be an academician for a moment and understand the human condition. Let us understand Hinduism. And that becomes difficult for people. There is a very famous line in Hinduism, say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And everybody says, see how great my culture is. The world is my family. Let me explain what it actually means. It means that everybody is a grandchild of Brahma. The Devas are the children of Brahma. The Asuras are also children of Brahma. And Devas and Asuras are always fighting. The Garuda is the children of Brahma, the grandchild of Brahma from Kashyapa Rishi. Nagas are the grandchildren of Brahma through Kashyapa Rishi. Garudas and Nagas are always fighting each other. Rakshasas are the grandchildren of Brahma. Yakshas are the grandchildren of Brahma. Rakshasas' leader is Ravana. Yaksha's leader is Kubera. They fight each other all the time. So much so the Rakshasas live in the southern directions and the Yakshas live in the northern direction. One lives in Lanka, the other lives in Alanka or Alaka. You read the Ramayana. Bali and Sugriv are fighting over Kishkinda, also known as Hyderabad. This is Kishkinda Kshetra, this central part of India. And you will see what are they doing? They're fighting over property. Bali and Sugriv fighting over property. Ravana and Kuber fighting over property. Ramayana mein Pandav and Kaurav fighting over property. Ayodhya, Kaushalya fighting for property. Kaikai fighting for property. Only problem, some says no. But why is it consistent in the story? Devasur, Garuda and Nagas, Yakshas and Rakshasas. Kishkinda mein there is property dispute. Ayodhya there is property dispute. Lanka there is property dispute. Kurukshetra there is property dispute. ये घर घर की कहानी है ना? And the property dispute. How many of you all are fighting court cases with uncles and aunts and brothers and you're telling me it is not there in your family? You're lying. The richest family in India is VC. Everywhere it is there. Ghar ghar ki kahani. Ekta Kapoor understood it correctly. This is the meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. Everybody thinks they have equal rights to property. So long as it is not my property. 25% of agricultural land in England is controlled by less than 1% of its population. 25% of land is owned in England, the land of liberal democracy. Less than 1%. 25,000 people to be exact control 25% of the land. Equality is taught in Oxford and Cambridge. Yeah, right. कभी काम नहीं किया जिंदगी में. You don't know how it is difficult to own land. जमीन जायदाद के ऊपर rationality नहीं चलता है. How much money makes you rich? Can you all agree on it? How much? Because every time you become rich, someone is richer than you. And someone is richer than you. And someone is richer than you. I have worked with extremely rich people and they all think they are very poor. And all of them don't use the word greed. They always use the word ambition. We have to understand human condition before talking about these concepts. What Hinduism did is said human beings at a fundamental level are animals. Pashu hain. And humanity's journey is from being an animal to a human. So from Vanara to Nara, from Nara to Narayana. That's the journey. What is being subhuman? To be subhuman or to be animal is to fight like animals, follow the jungle law. Might is right. So nature, which is a meritocracy, nature is a meritocracy. In nature, might is right. The strong eat the weak and it's fine. It's considered okay. It's okay for the animal. It is not okay for humans. When humans behave as animals do, if we are dominating like animals, we form pecking orders like animals, we are territorial like animals, then it is adharma. Dharma is when the strong take care of the meek. And therefore Vishnu's first avatar is a fish. Matsya Nyaya is the Sanskrit word for law of the jungle. So Vishnu takes a small fish form, looks at Manu and says, save me from the big fish and one day I will come to your rescue. And many, many years later, Manu finds himself in the middle of a flood, that the whole world is coming to an end. He's sitting on a boat wondering how to survive, and a large fish comes and tells him, I will take you to the highest peak. Who is this large fish? The same small fish which has become large. You help me, I help you. Dharma. But it is very difficult to make this journey. It is very difficult because we are animals. As the Mahabharata says, we will fight over land as dogs fight over meat bones. That is, when Krishna is saying Dharma Sthapana Yuge Yuge, he is not saying I'm going to create justice and equality. That's an Abrahamic concept. He's saying I'll help you rediscover your humanity. 100 brothers are fighting 5 brothers over a piece of land and not willing to compromise. That is a problem. How can there be a civilized society if 100 brothers are not finding a way in which the 5 brothers have a source of income? Forcing them to go to war. Violence happens when I'm hungry. You have not, it's not about right and wrong. How much money you should have, you'll never know the exact proportion of it. If I were to tell you what is a fair way to distribute your property between your 2 children, give me a correct method. You'll never achieve it. Whatever you do, at the end of the day, the will say, Daddy loved him more than me. Because property is directly proportional to love. And of course, you'll say, no, I'll give both of them flats. His flat is in Banjara Hills. My flat is much bigger. Yeah, I don't want to tell her name. If there is a will to be a victim, you will find a way. And that is what Vasudeva Kutumbakam means, that no division is ever fair. There is no concept of fair division. Devas seem to have everything, and the Asuras are like, why everything? We want it. And therefore every story in the Purana begins with Asuras doing tapasya, basically going to MBA colleges. And then they come up with innovative, subversive ideas to become rich. And then when they become rich, they defeat the Devas and become Devas themselves. And when they come and, what do you do when you're rich? At least we imagine the rich spend all day watching the Apsaras dance and the Gandharvas plays music and drinking somras. वही है ना, purpose of life क्या है? To party. I'm like, okay. Because seems to be all young people tell me, sir, the whole purpose of life is party. I hate going to work. Okay, Indra Sabha. Everybody wants Indra Sabha. And the Asuras are fighting to become an Indra Sabha. But Indra is always insecure. He's terribly insecure. Because he has been told, if anybody does more yajnas than you, he will replace you. Because you see, nature is a meritocracy. So what does Indra do when he's sitting on his throne? Have you heard the famous line, Indra ka singhasan dagmagata hai? So immediately he looks at the king who is performing yajnas and he says, oh my God, competition aa gaya. Competition aa gaya, so steal the horse. Ensure he doesn't, the banks don't give him loan. वो कंपनी का सब टैलेंट को हायर कर लो, डबल द सैलरी में, कोलैप्स हो जाएगा. Indra. Or sometimes the Asuras will come. Asura is born and then Indra goes to his father Brahma and says, what is Brahma in this context? See, the Asura is, the strategic threat to your business, a new product that is coming from China. Brahma is your, I want to say PMO, but I don't mean it. Some regulatory authority, and we'll say create policies to create barriers so he can't come in. Which is what China does all the time, right? We are the Asuras for China. So you can't use WhatsApp in China, you can't use Facebook in China, you can't use, why? It is, Brahma has decided. Regulatory changes. And then Indra is even more scared. The worst thing for Indra is a tapasya. You know what is a tapasvi? Tapasvi in modern language is very simple. It is the consumer who doesn't want your product and services. That's the end of your business. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. Like imagine if you say, no, we are not interested in algebra. So then what do? Indra नहीं छोड़ेगा. Indra बोलेगा, goes to the Apsara department. और वहां से सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग टीम को बोलो अच्छे स्पीकर लेके आए. नाचना पड़ता है, गाना पड़ता है, तपस्या भंग करना पड़ता है ताकि मेंबरशिप हो. The whole idea of Indra Sabha, this is what we aspire for. We want Indra Sabha. He's always in Ranabhumi, he's always fighting. He's only consumed by his own hunger. Asuras are only thinking about themselves. Yakshas are only thinking about themselves. That's why none of them are worthy of worship. You only worship someone who has outgrown their hunger. Shiva. Shiva is to be worshipped. Why? Usko bhook nahi lagta hai. Like he has got a snake around his neck, which doesn't seem to be interested in Ganesha's rat. And Murugan is standing over there on a peacock, and the peacock seems to be totally uninterested in that beautiful, delicious, succulent snake around Shiva's neck. The goddess rides a tiger and lion, and you're wondering why is that tiger or lion not pouncing on Nandi the bull? Oh, beef band. And what does Nandi the bull eat on Kailas Parbat, which is a mountain of stone covered with snow? Nothing to eat. And they all seem to be happy in the photographs. Because nobody is hungry. So there is no need, there is no greed, there is no ambition, nothing, no want. What kind of a society is there where you have no need, want, what? No bhoga, only yoga. It's very nice, I want yoga. When you have bhog, yogas make sense. And then suddenly, you have Vishnu. Shiva has to come down from the mountain. He has to marry and produce children. Why does a person who is not hungry getting married and producing children? Buddha leaves family to become the Buddha. Shiva leaves his mountain top Kailasa Parvat, comes down to become a householder in Kashi. Do you see the conflict? The great Shiva is told Shadi kar. Buddha says Shadi ko tyag. Is Shadi a metaphor for human engagement? Also sex, but yeah, I said the word. It's okay, even if you're not getting it nowadays. बच्चों को करने दो. The point is engagement, and therefore you have Vishnu appearing as the householder god. He is not in Ranga, he is not in Ranabhumi, he is not fighting, he is always in Rangabhumi. He is Ranganatha, he is enjoying, he is performing his role, he is not hungry at all. Usko bhook nahi lagta hai, but he sees everybody is hungry around him. And therefore says Dharma Sthapana. Why is there hunger? Because everybody is behaving like a Pashu. Nobody is feeding the other. The Kauravas are not feeding the Pandavas, Ravana is not feeding Kubera, Vali is not feeding Sugriv. The Devas have got everything from the ocean of milk, but they refuse to share it with the Asuras. They are not sharing. When they are not sharing, dharma sthapana, I have to do something. So he descends from infinity down as an avatar, as Ram, as Krishna. And each time he's struggling, it's not easy. He's sometimes born in a privileged upper class background like Ram. Sometimes as a cowherd. Cowherd is not a privileged background, but we don't want to say it. A charioteer is not a privileged background. They're trying to give you a message. Dharma sthapana is done by the king, it is also done by the charioteer. It doesn't matter. Equality in India is seen very differently. Atma is equal. Sharira is diverse. The more Atma Gyan you have, the less desire you have to dominate, be territorial and establish hierarchies. That's all it means. When you have Atma Gyan, there will not be caste system. It doesn't matter. Where there is no Atma Gyan, caste system will just thrive. If not caste system, nationalism. If not nationalism, then patriotism, then religious war. Because you will always differentiate between yourself and the other. But the moment you have Atma Gyan, you will see the Atma in the other and you will realize the true meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you.